Welcome dear Gunners, today we bring updates that are exciting the fans. A great football star has become a target for Arsenal, who have already sent their scouts. But before we detail everything, leave your like, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to stay up to date with Arsenal news. Arsenal's DNA has always been guided by the audacity to see what no one else sees. While rivals pour hundreds of millions into established stars who often arrive at the Emirates without the necessary hunger, Mikel Arteta and Edu Gasper's management prefers the path of polishing. The news that is shaking up the backstage of London Coney now does not come from the major traditional leagues, but from the icy lands of Denmark. The name circulating most strongly among Arsenal's elite scouts is Caleb Urenki, a 20-year-old gem who is transforming FC Nordsjælland into a must-see destination for those seeking the future of world football. This isn't just another name on an endless list of prospects. Sources linked to the club indicate that Arsenal has already sent scouts on multiple occasions to analyze the Ghanaian's behavior under pressure. What sets Urenki apart from other young players his age is the rare combination of physical strength and tactical intelligence, something the club desperately seeks to provide quality rest or even an explosive partnership with Declan Rice. For fans who miss the physical vigor that dominated the midfield during the glory years, the comparison that has emerged in recent days couldn't be more exciting. Caleb is being called the new Michael Essien by international analysts. Imagine a player who has the ability to cover every inch of the pitch, recovering balls with controlled aggression and, in the next second, initiating a counterattack with precise vertical passes. That's exactly the profile that Arsenal's data analysis department has identified. The interest is no accident, as the club understands that the market is inflated and securing a talent of this caliber before he becomes a £100 million global star is what keeps the project sustainable in the long term. Arsenal doesn't just want to sign a player, it wants to secure the natural successor to a lineage of dominant midfielders. The competition, of course, isn't sleeping. Rumors indicate that other Premier League giants have already begun to approach the players' staff, trying to thwart the London club's plans. However, Arsenal possesses a competitive advantage that others can hardly match at the moment: its technical project. Young players today look to the Emirates and see names like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and William Saliba, who arrived as promising talents and became global pillars under Arteta's guidance. This history of development is the trump card Arsenal intends to use to convince Urenki that North London is the ideal place for him to evolve from a Danish prospect into a Premier League phenomenon. FC Nordsjælland is known for being a true talent factory, with a playing philosophy that values ball possession and quick transitions, something that fits perfectly into the system Arsenal currently uses. This means that Caleb's adaptation time would theoretically be much shorter than that of a player coming from a less technical league. Arsenal scouts highlight that the young Ghanaian's emotional maturity is what impresses most, maintaining composure in high-intensity games and demonstrating a vocal leadership that is rare in 20-year-old athletes. He is not just a destroyer of plays, he is a natural playmaker who plays with his head held high. Arsenal's strategy is now entering a crucial phase. With the transfer window approaching and the pressure for reinforcements that bring depth to the squad increasing, the move for Urenki may be brought forward to avoid an astronomical auction. The club knows that if they wait until he shines in a more high-profile European competition, the price will double and the line of suitors will become endless. The internal order is to monitor every touch of the ball by the midfielder and keep communication channels open with his representatives, ensuring that Arsenal is the first option in the player's mind. The analysis of Caleb Urenki goes far beyond a simple scouting report. It touches on the core of what Arsenal has become under Mikel Arteta's management. The club isn't just looking for athletes, it's looking for psychological profiles that fit the culture of suffering and total commitment that the Spanish coach demands. In the case of the young Ghanaian, what has most caught the eye of analysts in London is his aerobic endurance combined with explosive muscle power that allows him to win individual duels even against more experienced opponents. In modern football, where space is the most luxurious commodity on the field, a player who can close distances in seconds is considered an absolute rarity. Within the Gunners' tactical scheme, Urenki could play as a physical number 8, the player who links defense and attack with vertical transitions that break through defensive lines. Today, Arsenal relies excessively on the technical creativity of Martin Odegaard and the stability of Declan Rice, but the arrival of a player like Caleb would bring an element of unpredictability and brute force that is often lacking in tight games against low blocks in the Premier League. The idea of having an engine that doesn't stop running for 90 minutes is what makes the coaching staff's eyes light up, especially considering the increasingly saturated European calendar. Another fundamental point that justifies the heavy investment in monitoring this young player is his versatility. Although he prefers to play centrally, Jurenki has already demonstrated in Danish football that he has enough intelligence to cover the flanks during defensive recovery periods, a characteristic that Arteta values above almost everything else. In Arsenal's positional play system, where players need to constantly rotate to maintain the team's balance, having a midfielder who understands the geographical space of the field with such clarity is like having a coach within the four lines. He doesn't just run, he runs to the right places, closing passing lanes and forcing the opponent's mistake before the play even becomes dangerous. Arsenal's connection with the African and Scandinavian markets also plays in favor of this possible transfer. FC Nordsjælland has a close link with the Right to Dream Academy, an institution that focuses on the holistic development of the athlete, preparing them not only tactically but also mentally for the challenges of the European elite. This means that Caleb would arrive in North London with an educational and professional foundation far above average, facilitating immediate integration into the demanding Gunners' dressing room. The club has learned from past mistakes that hiring pure talent without the right mentality can be a waste of resources, and Jurenki seems to be the antidote to this risk. External pressure for Arsenal to announce big names is constant, but the board seems determined not to engage in bidding wars for players whose values are inflated by the media. The strategy with Caleb is operative silence. By discreetly but frequently sending scouts, the club builds a complete dossier that includes everything from the athlete's behavior in training to his life off the field. The goal is to ensure that, when the offer reaches the Danish club's table, all the terms are so well defined that there is no room for interference from greedy agents or last-minute rivals. Arsenal's fans, always passionate and attentive, have already begun flooding the players' social media, a common phenomenon when the club's interest becomes public. This human warmth is something that could weigh heavily on the 20-year-old's decision. Playing at the Emirates Stadium, under the command of a coach who has restored the club's dignity and in front of a crowd that chants the names of their idols incessantly, is a dream that few athletes can ignore. The prospect of becoming the new symbol of physical prowess in the London midfield, filling the void left by legends of the past, is a movie script that seems to be being written right now. Furthermore, Arsenal's financial evolution allows the club to now make these moves with greater confidence. Unlike previous years, where each £20 or £30 million signing was an existential risk, today Arsenal operates with a financial health that allows for strategic bets on generational talents. Jurenki is seen as an asset that, even if he doesn't become an immediate starter, will appreciate exponentially simply by being in the elite ecosystem of the Premier League. It's a masterstroke. You secure an elite substitute, bring new life to the squad, and also protect the club's assets with a player of high resale value. For us fans, this move signals that the club's ambition has not diminished. On the contrary, it shows that Arsenal is acting with the intelligence of a club that intends to dominate England for the next 5 or 10 years. Bringing in a player like Jurenki sends a clear message to rivals that squad renewal is constant and that the pursuit of physical and technical excellence never stops. If he truly delivers half the impact that Eschen delivered in his prime, we'll be witnessing one of the biggest market heists of the decade. The outcome of this story still depends on contractual details and how quickly Arsenal decides to pull the trigger on the official offer. But one thing is certain, the radar is on and the target is locked. Caleb Jurenki represents exactly the type of player who ignites the Emirates stands, young, talented, tireless, and with seemingly limitless potential. The question now for the board is not whether he has the quality, but rather how quickly we can bring him to wear the prestigious Arsenal shirt before the rest of the world wakes up to his talent.